Hi everyone. Have you ever wanted to continuously improve your team and gather feedback from your team on how to help them and help the project or your work get done better and faster? Well, this is where the retrospective comes in, and it's heavily used in an agile environment, but it can be used in any environment that you choose. The reason we use a retrospective is it guides us through 3 key questions, sometimes 4, but 3 main ones. And these are successes. So what went well over the last 2 weeks? And what could we improve? So what challenged us over the last 2 weeks as well? What do we want improved? And lastly, what questions do we still have? So what still puzzles us? Is there anything that we're unsure of and that we need information on? Now, gathering all of this information together, and especially on the challenges, but celebrating our successes as well, is so important as a team, and it will help improve the engagement and improve the work that's flowing through your team as well. Now, lastly, in this particular sheet, we've got a few beautiful little tricks. So if we enter a new one here, then you'll see that the new numbers come away straight away. And here's another one. So it does some beautiful automatic numbering for us. But also we have an action register, because all of those challenges, for each of those challenges or questions, we need to take an action so someone can help improve that or work on that for next time, so that hopefully we can put that in the success bucket in the next 2 weeks. We're going to show you how to create this sheet in Excel so you can have your very own Agile Retrospective Template. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do is just do the general coloring and the general framing of the sheet as always. And as always, we're just going to speed this up ever so slightly so we can get into the really good stuff of creating the Agile Retrospective Template itself. The next two rows we're going to merge and center as well and put them in the center. We'll have the text over to the left, and also in the middle, what we actually want to say here is our team name and even the iteration that we just worked on. Now, this could be anything, or it could just be the week or the date. That's completely up to you. Our next row is going to be our header row, and let's make that one just a nice light sandy color, just to keep with our beautiful theme. Now, what we want here is to just merge a couple of these items together. So this one we're going to merge, and we're going to say these are our successes. If we hold Alt and press Enter, that will allow us to go down another row, and we're just going to say what went well. Let's put that over to the left and just increase the indent ever so slightly, put it in the middle as well, and make it a little bit larger. And now we've got something very clear, a beautiful heading here. And for all of these, let's make the text just a little bit of a lighter gray, so that's quite nice for us. For our middle column, we're going to call these our challenges, and we're going to say what could we be improving, or what could be improved. Now, lastly, of course, we're going to have the questions. So what still puzzles us at this stage? Now we're going to want to put some borders around all of this, so we just know where we're going to be working. And we'll start with a nice thick box border around our heading here. Maybe a nice thick box border around these 2 areas also, and even around the top if we really want to. But then for our particular areas, what we're going to do is select these. These can have thick borders as well if you like, or they can have normal borders. That's completely up to you. Now, for these, what we're going to do is just select the More Borders function, and now we can do a couple of borders at the same time. So if we like, we can have a dashed border in the middle, not a diagonal one, and maybe we can have a normal line for our vertical lines here. If we do that, let's have a look at how that looks. Yeah, that looks quite nice, so we can keep that. But again, you can do this any way you please. And for our number rows, let's just color these a little bit lighter gray, and same for this one, and same for this one. Now, there's a beautiful little piece of code that we're going to use to do the automatic numbering. Let's put that in now. So what we're going to say is that if this area is blank, then we actually want to return blank as well. So if there's nothing written, then we just want to have nothing in the numbers section. Otherwise, if it's not blank, then we want to write the number 1, because that's the first one we're starting with. And if we press Enter, and if we put something here, as you can see, that number appears. Now we just want to format that a little bit more nicely, put that in the center, and the same for our middle row as well. Put that in the middle and indent it ever so slightly. Now that's looking a little bit better. Now the second formula is a little bit different. This one is checking if that cell is blank, which is good. If it's blank, we want to return nothing as well, so just empty quotes. But if it's not blank, we want the maximum of the last rows, and we want to put a $sign here so that when we drag this down, what it will do is actually keep this one stationary, so keep the $sign one the same, so row 5, but it will drag the rest of it, D5 to D6 to D7, that will change. So when there's a $sign, it won't change. When there's no $sign, it will change, and that'll help us when we drag this down. And then we want the maximum of those +1 because it's the next number in the sequence. So if we press enter there, and if we put something here as well, then you can see we've got our number 2. And if we just copy this and select the rest of our rows and paste the formulas only so it doesn't mess up our formatting, then if we put a new one here, then you can see it's now numbering in sequence for us automatically, which is such a wonderful thing. We'll put our other columns in the middle and just indent them ever so slightly as well. Same for our questions, and we'll just format the rest of them in the same way. And now we've got our template for a wonderful retrospective to do with our team. But we still do need to take actions, and this is a very important part of doing a retrospective. So let's create our action register. The first thing we're going to do is just create the border around all of these and around our heading row. For our heading row, let's make that beautiful turquoise color, nice light blue, just something soothing for us. And the first one we want is our number, then we want our actions, then we want our owner, and lastly, we want the status of that particular action. If we put these in the middle and in the center, increase the size and make that bold. Now we have them as nice heading rows. But we still do need a few things, and we want to go to our more borders section, do all of our beautiful vertical borders all at once. Now they are all done. But also we still need to do our horizontal lines as well. So let's do those as our more borders, a nice dashed line, and if we do that, there we go. Now that's looking really, really good. For our actions, we don't need all of these columns, so we're just going to merge and center this, merge and center these, and merge and center these as well. And the same for the rest of our items. Now we can use the same trick for our numbering. If we just copy these the same down, and then also copy this and paste the formulas as well. Now we can see if we enter one here, then we've got our automatic numbering already set up for us. Now lastly, there's one more trick that we want to use, and that is adding our statuses. And they're going to start with not started, and then in progress, and finally complete. If we put this one bold, and if we color these just a tiny little bit so that we know they're a little bit different, and now you can color that any color you like, of course. But what we want now is to select our column, our status column, go to data, and go to data validation, and we want to allow a list. And the list values, we want the ones that we've just set up here. If we select OK, now we've got not started, we've got in progress, and we've got complete as well. Now there's one last thing we can do, and that's a little bit of conditional formatting just to make them stand out. So if we select that again, go to Home, Conditional Formatting, we want a new rule. So the rule we want is only cells that contain the cell value equal to this particular cell, so not started. And if it's not started, then let's give that a little bit of an orangey color so that it does stand out. And as you can see, that's done there. Now we can do the same for the rest of our ones, just by adding new rules, cells that contain equal to those particular items. So in progress is our next one. Let's make that a nice yellow. And for our complete, let's make that a nice green. And now you can see we've got some really nice ways to see the status of those actions. And together, you and I have created this wonderful retrospective template that you can take, create, and use straight away with the teams that you're working with in your own work, in your own organization. I've really enjoyed spending this time with you, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself as well. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.